A very good morning, everybody. Welcome to AMS Live. My name is Boy. It is Sunday, April 14th, 2024. We are standing at Polderbaan at the moment in use for departures together with runway 36 center. And our first airplane is approaching. Outbound to Manchester, EasyJet A320. What does it look like? This is what it looks like to the north. This is what it looks like to the west. The wind is coming from this direction on average, but it varies a bit, which is also why I'm stood here. Because if the wind turns a bit more to the south, we might see landings on this runway. Next up, KLM flight 1293 outbound to Billund. Visibility is perfect. You can clearly see the previous airplane in the distance making a left-hand turn. It's a bit chilly, has to be said. This is what the wind is looking on the scale of chimney smoke. Let's quickly turn back because the next departure is already in progress. United Airlines Flight 71, it's the 767-400 again, going to Newark. A very good morning to everybody who has joined us already. Happy Sunday to you all. Hope everybody is doing well. Lined up in the distance, KLM flight 1151, Embraer 190, destination Trondheim. 6-year-old airplane, first flight February 2018. And the 777 behind it with destination Paramaribo is approaching from the left. Now I do see some bird life over to the north. Chris and Curtis Coot. I'm also hearing spooling up behind me, so it's time to quickly turn back. KLM flight 713 outbound to Paramaribo. 777-300 ER, 8 years old. First flight was in February 2016. PHBVP. BV Paramaribo. Hans is saying you ordered sun for today, didn't you? Well, I did actually. It was said that later in the day it is going to get more sunny, albeit with lower temperatures than yesterday. The wind is coming from the west, more or less. This is what it looks like directly west of me. Southwest, a bit more nebulous, but straight from the west and northwest. The wind is currently blowing from this direction, more or less. Does look like it is going to open up. Also pointing the camera up and letting it be stationary, you see that the clouds are moving this way, so I do believe that more bright air is underway from the west, blowing what you see over there away. Also supposedly the last day before autumn revisits the Netherlands. I think my next stream might even be Friday if tomorrow becomes very showery. On Thursday the grass that I ordered will be delivered, so I will be doing some garden work, and I hope that the delivery will be in the beginning of the day so that I can finish the job on Thursday. But showers, wind, all that good stuff that we already had for 6 months or so, it's coming back as of tomorrow. The chat is already teeming with people and messages. Good morning, everybody. Happy Sunday to all. Now, last time we were here, at a certain point it got really quiet. I hope today is going to be a bit more eventful than last time we were here. So far so good. This is Shamrock flight 603, destination Dublin, Ireland. It's an A320. 19 years old, first flight March 2005. Boy the builder, indeed, Wolfgang. Well, another batch of airplanes has arrived on the other side. The next one is already lined up and coming. Let us see. This is one of the German Airways rentals flying for KLM, Embraer 190, going to Leeds. 15 years old, this one. First flight January 2009. Parallel departures in progress, center also in use. The next airplane is already coming. Going to Oslo, Boeing 737-800, KLM flight 1199. 23 years old, first flight July 2000. Bam, 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 no time to waste. The next airplane already coming this way. KLM flight 937, destination Glasgow. Embraer 190. 14 years old, first flight March 2010. That E2 Embraer to Marseille. Having departed from center. Another Aer Lingus is coming, and another Embraer 190 already lined up. Lined up is a Britty Hopper from Eastern Airways going to Cardiff, KLM flight 1087. Embraer 190 long range, 15 years old, first flight January 2009. Oh, don't trip. Next up, Aer Lingus flight 841 A320 destination Cork, 15 years old, first flight December 2008. And I see that there's also an E2 Embraer coming this way. Going to Aberdeen, another Embraer 190, going to Inverness. UK outbound rush hour. And all the while, the sun is starting to shine a bit more. Still cold. But there is a shade of yours truly, and you can see it is starting to brighten up over here. Right. KLM flight 901 up next, Embraer 190 destination Inverness, Scotland. It's the Fez PHEZZ, and she is 10 years old. Her first flight was in November 2013. First E2 of the day, taking off from Polderbaan, is approaching the threshold. KLM flight 913 going to Aberdeen. So if you just joined us, welcome to the show. You're watching AMS Live. My name is Boy, and we are standing along the Polderbaan runway 36 left. One of two runways being used for departures. The wind is blowing predominantly from the west-northwest. And this is KLM flight 913 outbound to Aberdeen. E2 Embraer. Had its first flight in January 2023, so it's a year old. And as you could hear, really quiet. Parallel departures in progress. Center runway also being used for the departures. Mostly for destinations lying east of the Netherlands. The sun is out. Wind is blowing from this direction. So more blue skies should be coming. For now, looking to the east, which is in this direction, you can see still some darkness and some cloudiness. This is to the southeast. And on the scale of chimney smoke, this is what the wind currently looks like. I think there's also a new meter. I checked just before going live and it was still the old one. So while we are waiting for our next airplane, KLM flight 1043, a 737-700 that will be going to Birmingham. Let's also have another look at the meter, which is now already 26 minutes old. The wind still in the northwestern direction, 12 knots, few clouds at 2,200 feet. The air temperature is 11 degrees Celsius, 22 and 30, roughly 52 degrees Fahrenheit. No significant changes expected, no precipitation for today. That's the good news. I've updated the ticker in the meantime. And there it is, our next airplane, Boeing 737-700. KLM flight 1043 going to Birmingham, 14 years old. First flight was in January 2010. And a very warm welcome to everybody who has joined us in the meantime. Happy Sunday to all. If you're new to the channel and you're liking what you're seeing, don't forget to drop a like. It really helps to spread this content to other aviation enthusiasts who may not have yet seen the channel, but might also be interested in stuff like this. And if you have a question, feel free to ask. A lot of people are already watching, many of them knowledgeable, all of them friendly. Well, we started off with a big peak in inbound traffic to the Polderbaan. Well, outbound traffic going to the Polderbaan, I should say, more rather. And it always comes in batches, it seems like. There is another batch underway. And I'm also starting to see some heavies live on the platform area with destinations west of the Netherlands, United States and stuff, so we'll take some time for them to taxi over here as we are furthest removed from the main platform area. I think I see a tail in the distance. Oh, no. Oh, wait, yeah, both. One taking off, one taxiing this way. That would be the EasyJet. What is it? And also a departing airplane that you saw in the background, KLM 737-800 going to Geneva. I think I might get better results with a bit more drag on the left-right axis. Hopefully I can still make the turn quickly enough for the airplanes that are taking off from over here. More resistance is better, makes for smoother following. There's another airplane already taking off. – 2 Embraer to Florence, Firenze. 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 2 Em Yes, this is much more smoothly. Firefighters already did their round as I was setting up here. Now, blue sky, which means more often than not contrails, and I do see an airplane that is moving west to east, south, north of me. Quite clearly a twin jet. Let's see, is it doable to get it a bit closer? Or will it get too pixelated? Bit of high clouds in the way still. That looks like Qatar, doesn't it? I think that's Qatar. I think it also says so on the bottom. Alrighty, in the meantime, our next airplane looks like it is going to take the shortcut. KLM flight 1185, outbound to Kristiansand. Embraer 175, does a turn and burn, rolling start. Coming our way, 6 years old, first flight November 2017. Meantime, the EasyJet A319 that we saw first went to the threshold of the runway and is now coming our way. Going to London Luton, flight 22514. 15-year-old airplane, first flight December 2008. Right, our next airplane is approaching. Still making its way over here. But visible in the distance already. KLM flight 787 going to Sint Maarten. A330-200. Fire station in the foreground. Dedicated tower of Polderbaan immediately behind it. Windsock visible on the far right. Oh, Donald and Daisy doing a flyby. Nice parallel landing there. Was just too late to capture the landing, but Donald and Daisy have returned. So Chris and Curtis have been accounted for. Donald and Daisy, I think Russell might be over there. Oh, and another one of those contrails. More Qatar. More Qatar. Now also a very big thank you to Marco for your super chat. Marco writes, Sunday is not Sunday without boy. Well, thank you for your kind words and for your super chat, Marco. AMS Live on a Sunday is nothing without Marco, right? Happy to have you back in the chat. And all other viewers who have joined in the meantime, a warm welcome to you too. It's been a while since we have seen departures on this runway. Last time it ended prematurely because traffic was at some point really slow. That's always the downside of outbound traffic. It flows, sometimes it's busy, sometimes it is less busy. So far so good. Right, this one might get loud. KLM flight 787 going to St. Maarten. It's the PHAOC A330-200. 18 years old. First flight October 2005. Let's go. Look at the wingspan. So wide. In the meantime, a 737 has just taken off from center. Airplane's landing on 136 right. This is what you can see from over here. Not much. Hey, that's a familiar sight. It's the PHBVA Orange Pride. Looky here. Right, this is KLM flight 1971 going to Split. Lickety Split. 737-800. 16 years old. First flight January 2008. In the meantime, number 190 outbound to Göteborg is ready to go. Coming our way already. KLM flight 1231 in the SkyTeam livery. PHEZX, 12 years old, first flight April 2012. Now it also didn't help, last time I was standing here and departures were taking place from this runway was the low ceiling, and now there is none. There is no ceiling. Visibility has been excellent the last couple of days. Would make for great glide slope shots if this runway were used for arrivals today. Then again, always nice to switch it up every now and then. And from this location the sound is exquisite. Another Coot doing morning cardio. A great example to many. Now I was talking about big birds that have destinations west of the Netherlands coming this way, and here is our first one. KLM flight 601 going to LAX. It's a 787-10 Dreamliner on its way to the runway threshold, where the bird controller is, has found a good place to be stationary for quite a while already. Does give me a moment to go back to the laptop again and to once again say a massive big thank you to Marco, who just now gifted 5 memberships. And he also writes that the reason for that was because his son turned 18 yesterday. Marco, gefeliciteerd. Must be expensive. Are you paying for driver's lessons as well for your son? Gefeliciteerd man. En dankjewel. Thank you so much. If you are one of the 5 recipients of the gifted memberships that Marco just now gifted, don't forget to thank him and also congratulate him with his son who turned 18 yesterday. Congratulations and thank you once again, Marco. And here it is, KLM flight 601, it's spooling up, coming this way, going to LAX. 787-10 Dreamliner, and this airplane is 4 years old. The first flight of this airplane was in November 2019. Oh, Wolfgang, lest I forget, I did see that video clip you referred to earlier in the week. The A340 taking off from Zurich with tailwind and almost touching the runway again. Looked a bit iffy. Well, they did have enough runway length to regain speed by the looks of it, but something you don't want to have happen to you, and particularly not on such a poor climber as the A340. The next batch of airplanes is approaching. Leading the pack is KLM flight 661 going to Houston. A330-300 followed by a KLM 737-800 with destination Helsinki. A Ryanair 737 to Dublin is also coming this way. Another arrival on 36 left. Let's use the telescope mode a little. 737, that much we can tell. Till where can we follow it? Well, this is semi-following. Trees obviously in the way. Foliage. Maybe it would have been better in the winter time, but only just because there are the buildings already blocking our view regardless. Alright, that also looks like a Dreamliner coming our way. 7879 to Bogota, KLM flight 741. Fasten your seatbelts, indeed lane. Marco's son came home around 3:30 in the morning, reasonably drunk. Well, sounds like he had a good party. Sleeping in on a Sunday. Right. In the meantime, Austrian to Vienna, taking off from center. Hey there, Stefan. Good morning. Good to see you again, mate. And all other viewers who have joined us in the meantime, good morning to you too. We have a line cutter, KLM flight 1251 going to Helsinki, Finland. 737-800. 10 years old, first flight May 2013. Right, the bird controller has moved. Now blocking our view from a bit closer by. Gives me a moment to go to the laptop and say warm welcome to Marco to the Aurora Skylines, our latest AMS Live member. Thank you for choosing AMS Live, Marco. Welcome to the show. The custom emojis now available to you. Use them whenever you see fit. Hope you will like it in the lounge. Thank you for your support, Marco. Going to Houston. Houston, Texas, KLM Flight 661, A330-300 on its way. 12 years old, this airplane. The first flight was in March 2012. What is up, Alan? Good to see you, mate. Hope all is well. And I hope that goes for everybody watching now. Bird controller, K4, doing some off-roading in the Ranger Raptor. After the wake turbulence has dissipated, this airplane is going to get the go-ahead to go to Dublin. Ryanair, flight 421, 737-800. 13 years old, first flight January 2011. Looks like we also have another line cutter. Embraer 190 going to Gdansk. Mrs. Professor seems to not have eaten yet. That's what we say in Dutch. If you fall for a joke, we say, je hapt zo graag toe. You're so eager to bite. Of course it's Houston. We had some people in the chat yesterday that were nitpicking about the pronunciation of METAR, which made me purposefully mispronounce names just to ruffle some feathers, because that's how I've always been all my life. So that was Houston, and this is going to Gdansk, KLM Flight 1303, Embraer 190. Now, there was somebody yesterday nitpicking about METAR. I said METAR and it should be METAR or METAR or whatever. I don't know what I called it. METAR, me too. Right, going to Bogota in Colombia. KLM Flight 741. It's a 7879 Dreamliner. 6 years old, first flight March 2018. Flexi flex. Good morning to Ari. Hey, Captain Eddie Bosch and Ian, good evening to you both. And all others who have joined in the meantime, warm welcome to you all. Happy Sunday. Hope everybody is doing well. And Arjan, thank you so much. More memberships being gifted, courtesy of Arjan this time round. 5 new members. Welcome to the Aurora Sky Lounge, those new 5 members. Don't forget to say dankjewel or thank you to Arjan. Arjan, dankjewel. Thank you so much for your generosity. Very kind of you, mate. And welcome those new members. Up next, KLM Flight 605, destination San Fran, 787-10 Dreamliner. PHBKL, 1-year-old, first flight June 2022. Also, police with the siren on. If you need the emergency services, call 0118 999 something 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 3. Right, lined up in the distance, we have a Bombardier C-Series, aka A220 these days, Air Baltic, going to Tallinn. The airplane is 2 years old. Its first flight was in June 2021. There's also a line cutter lined up for the first entrance. That is KLM Flight 1031 going to Manchester. 737-800. First up, the Air Baltic A220. Together with the E2 Embraers having geared turbofan engines. Really quiet. Good evening, Lee. Captain Jerry, good to see you again, mate. No glide slope shots today, but departure inverse glide slope shots possibly. Just so quiet. Now, if they would start taking off back to back as much as they did in the first half hour of the stream, when zooming out, you would be able to see a couple of them in the same shot. Now there's a bit more separation, so just one at a time. Also a heavy taking off from center just now. What's that? Need to zoom out a little to see properly. 777-200 going to Zanzibar, KLM Flight 515. Which means foregoing the 737 going to Manchester. Now I also see that there's a 777-200 just like this on its way to the runway we are standing next to, going to Quito, KLM Flight 755. More heavies are on the way. In the meantime, another 737-800 from KLM is lining up on Polderbaan, ready to go to Copenhagen, which is interesting because that lies to the east, and normally speaking you'd say it would take the easternmost departure runway to go to that destination, aka center. So the fact that it doesn't is interesting. KLM flight 1269 going to Copenhagen, 23 years old, the 737, first flight May 2000. Hey, Peppy, also back in the chat. Servus. And Marina, good morning. Patrick, good morning. Norbert, guten Morgen. Hans Olaf, good morning. Kelsey. Right, let's see. I think there's a MAX 8 taking off from center now. See, that is TUI going to Gran Canaria. Okay. Chris Coot is making a bit of noise, vying for attention. You want to have your 15 seconds of fame? There you go, mate. Say hi to the audience. Ah, you want some attention too, huh? Triple 7-200 outbound to Bangalore. KLM flight 879. 20 years old, this one. First flight December 2003. The PHBQD. Now the next airplane coming to the Polderbaan is Maleth Aero with destination Phoenix. There's a first. It should, yeah, there it is. Should become visible anytime now. Couple of heavies behind it. The 777 to Quito is leading the pack of the next batch. And there's also a 777-300 to Lima in Peru behind it, so double triple time. And another Bombardier C Series 300 from Air Baltic. In the meantime, also 737 taking off to Milan, KLM flight 1621 taking off from center. There it comes. pretty much on the top end of the 400 times digital zoom. Now back to the top end of optical zoom. And disabling telescope mode. In the meantime, Maleth has taken the left-hand turn to taxi all the way to the runway threshold, and the triplet of triple A220 Bombardier C series is coming. The Air Baltic now on the far left, coming this way. Also a Bombardier C series 300 making its way over to the threshold of center for departure to Sofia, Bulgaria Air. And looking where the Maleth A330 is at right now, if it does a turn and burn, we might see the Bulgaria Air also. Or at least we'll be able to follow it for a short while. And again, it is already almost at the runway threshold, so maybe not. Flight radar says that the Bulgaria Air is now turning onto the runway. The same is happening over here, so let's just focus on the Maleth A330 then. Maleth Aero A330-200, destination Phoenix, Arizona. Or at least I'm thinking Phoenix, Arizona. I don't know of any other Phoenixes. The airplane is 18 years old, first flight October 2005. Showtime. Is that plane empty or what? It doesn't seem to be very heavy. Is it a relocation flight? It must be, because look at how high it is already. That's the climb rate of Embraers. You don't see that on fully loaded A330s. Hey there Ross, good morning, goedemorgen. In good form, well, don't know what that sounds like. I do know that everything sounds better if the wind is a bit more moderate. KLM Flight 755 up next, going to Quito. 777-200 ER. Years old, this one. First flight April 2004. So the wind coming from this direction should blow in more blueness in the sky. Pulling up already is the 777-300 ER going to Lima in Peru, KLM Flight 743. 7 years old, first flight May 2016. Hey, Ultimate also back in the chat. Good to see you, man. Inverse glide slope shot, outbound, with the 2 triples in one shot. More triple goodies, also one taking off from center. Triple 7-300ER going to Cape Town, South Africa, KLM flight 597. Air Baltic flight 618 outbound to Riga up next. Bombardier C-Series 300 A220s. 1-year-old airplane, first flight May 2022. Next month it'll turn 2. I see a couple more jets on their way over here. Mixed bag of narrow bodies and heavies, which is a perfect mix. Right. 737 to Barcelona has just taken off from center. KLM flight 1513. And 15 is also the age of this airplane. First flight April 2008. Coming our way and going to Hamburg. KLM flight 1753, Embraer 190. Coming our way to Edinburgh, KLM flight 925. It's number 175. 6 years old, first flight October 2017. And there I say it, it feels like the wind is turning a bit more to the south, and also the ripples are actually coming my way, looking in this direction, that is to the south. Trend that is going to continue, you might start seeing arrivals again over here. Right, next up 777-200 to Minneapolis, and let's have a quick look at the METAR, because I am now curious if anything has changed. Right, this is what it was, and that's the METAR from 925. Let's refresh 1025. Okay. Well, that's interesting. Wind direction hasn't changed according to the METAR. 11 knot wind, and still with a northern component in it. Let me paste it into the ticker for you guys right away. Then it is back to the camera controls. But it feels like the wind is becoming a bit more southerly. Maybe that is just my perception. KLM flight 655, 777-200, going to Minneapolis, Minnesota. BQH, 19 years old, first flight September 2004. A warm welcome to everybody who has just joined us. You're watching Amos Live. My name is Boy. We are standing along the Polderbaan, which is today being used for departures together with the center runway. So today this runway is now runway 36 left. Wind, as you guys can see and could see just now, is still blowing from the northwest. We're not expecting any rain. If you do like what you're seeing and you haven't already, don't forget to drop a like. It really helps to spread this content to more aviation enthusiasts such as yourselves who might not have heard of the channel yet, but might also be interested in live streams like these. And if you want to stay in front of upcoming live streams, don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell icon. Our next airplane, which will get clearance to take off once the wake turbulence of the 777 has dissipated sufficiently, is BA flight 429, an A320neo going to London Heathrow. And it's pulling up. 3-year-old airplane. Off to get some fish and chips. Bad food, worse weather, and Mary effing Poppins, London. And the airplane taking off next is going to go exactly to the same destination, London Heathrow. If it hurries up, they might be able to do formation flying on the way over. KLM flight 1005, it's a 737-800. The PHBXE, 23 years old, this one. First flight April 2000. It's been a while since I last heard an airplane take off from runway center. Does that mean that runway usage has changed, I'm wondering? The airplane behind it is a lipstick with a Unicef logo on the tail. Norwegian going to Copenhagen. Another 737-800, just like this. Patrick is asking, aren't you using a scanner to follow communications between ATC and the airplane? And the answer is no. Check it out, it is Jendrosek on his skateboard. Yo, goedemorgen.
Hello.
What is up? Jendrosek Sip in the house on his skateboard. Good to see you, mate. Alles lekker?
Ja.
Wearing nothing but a t-shirt. Did you bring something warmer along? Because you know, as you're standing still here, I'm still wearing my gloves. With the open fingertips. Right, Norwegian in the Unicef livery going to Copenhagen. The airplane is 13 years old, first flight May 2010. I was wondering what I was hearing. Biker club or something. Or, yeah, also a couple of bikes driving further up ahead. First I was wondering, is that Jendrosek farting or something, but it wasn't. It was just a motorcycle club touring. The wind is blowing in this direction, so everything that happens on that road, including ambulances with sirens on, that sound gets blown away to us. In the meantime, heavies are preparing to take off and runway usage hasn't changed. Something I was wondering just now, because center is still being used for departures. Is that Air Baltic? Yep. You see that a lot, that they're all flying to the Baltic states. Two of them depart from this runway and one from the other, or vice versa. Why not all three from the same runway? Just thinking out loud. Alrighty, Delta Airlines flight 179 going to Jerry's hometown, Portland, Oregon. A330-300, 9 years old, first flight January 2015. om te skaten. 40 minutes, just asking 50. 13, 14 kilometers on a skateboard. Jindrosek lives in Haarlem and he came here by skateboard just now. So I just asked him how long it took him to get here.
I need to practice for a 6-hour race coming up in June.
6-hour race coming up in June and he needs to practice well. Then 50 minutes from Haarlem to here is peanuts. That's just a warm-up.
Yeah, the max I did is 200 miles in 24 hours.
200 miles in 24 hours on a skateboard.
Yep.
Crazy. That's like the Ironman equivalent of skateboarding. Next up, another Delta A330-300 going to Minneapolis, Minnesota. Delta Airlines Flight 161. This airplane is 8 years old. Its first flight was in October 2015. Has Mr. Jackson arrived in the chat already? His favorite airplane seems to be the next to depart unless one of the airplanes following it is going to cut in line. Let's see, that's EasyJet, so the CRJ already has to be in front of it. There it is. SAS CRJ, which is outbound to Copenhagen. Looks like it is taking a left-hand turn, taxi to the threshold. That means that the EasyJet A319 behind it might cut the line going to London Luton. Third airplane underway is going to go to Curaçao, TUI Dreamliner. Even from over here, Han. Even from over here. Welling. Right, the EasyJet also seems to be going to the runway threshold. Here comes SAS Flight 552, CRJ 900 going to Copenhagen. CRJ 900 long range, 7 years old, first flight December 2016. Right, mention of Lufthansa 747 passing by. Not seeing any contrails just yet. Well, just a twin jet coming this way. Not seeing any quad contrails just yet. This is EasyJet flight 2251 6 going to London Luton, A319, 12 years old, first flight September 2011. And good morning to John and to Kelly Cruz, Mies, Frank, all the others who have joined in the meantime. Warm welcome to the show. And once again, I'm experimenting with the voiceover mic being on the inside of my jacket. So if I look up, I know that I move away from the mic and you will start sounding softer. Something I need to take into consideration, but I think it really works or has the potential to work to mitigate wind noise when it is windy compared with the bottom of the cap. Now, also very excited, Tuesday the blimp should arrive that I ordered. That is going to make a world of difference, I expect, on windy days. Right, up next. Going to Curaçao, Willemstad, TUI, flight 375. It's a 7878 Dreamliner, 9 years old. First flight November 2014. HTFL. Now we already saw Maleth Aero, but that was one with colors and going to Phoenix. Next we're going to see Maleth Aero, but flying for Suriname, going to Paramaribo. A330-200. Military police, the KMAR also passing us by. There's also a line cutter. Delta A350 seems to be cutting the line later. Something that you don't see every day. Also a massive big thank you to Alvin for your super chat. That totally was unnecessary. Drop a boy a like if you like what you see. It's a great way to support the channel. Well, here. Cheers, mate. But at the risk of sounding like a broken record, you're doing more than enough as this already to support the channel. You don't have to do that. You don't have to super chat, mate. Well, looky here. Double Delta. No, not double Delta. Double Airbus. The A350, Delta Airlines Flight 73 going to Atlanta, Georgia. Might make a nice thumbnail. 2-year-old airplane, first flight December 2021. Let's look and listen. Indeed, Frank, no livery, then you go second. This is discrimination. Well, talking about discrimination, this is Suriname Airways, but it's all white, no color, totally not inclusive. Flight 993, operated by Maleth Aero, going to Paramaribo, A330-200, 15 years old, first flight November 2008. Bit more clouds drifting in from the north. Looking in the direction the wind is blowing from over here. Still mostly blue skies, but some friendly clouds to provide some nice backdrop. More delta, double delta now. A330-300 going to Detroit, Michigan, flight 135. This airplane is 8 years old, first flight June 2015. Now, in addition to Alvin's super chat, if you like what you see, don't forget to drop a like. Also, don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell icon if you want to stay informed of upcoming live streams in the future. Our next batch of airplanes is a duo, and runway configuration has changed. Center runway now being used for arrivals. Have I updated that in the ticker yet? I don't believe I have. So let's do that. And also, let's have a look, because we can now also see the airplanes coming our way, taxi around the threshold of the center runway. So 18 right and 36 right and 36 C are now used for arrivals, and our runway is now the only runway being used for departures. What that means is all outbound traffic coming this way, but it has to taxi around the center runway, which is now being used for arrivals. We can see an airplane actually land on runway 36 center over there. And also our first next airplane arriving, SAS. KLM also coming this way. There's also a 777-300 going to Johannesburg that is coming this way. If you look on Flight Radar, you can see that the airplanes, most of them are now taxiing around the threshold of the center runway, and that is, from this point of view, exactly over there. So look for tails that you see between the trees. At the moment, you should see the tip of an A220 from Air France. Not sure if it is high enough. With the heavies, not so much a problem, but that is where the threshold of the center runway is, where you can also see the airplanes that are coming our way. EasyJet A320 Neo, yeah, to Edinburgh. The airplane in the background is landing on the furthest removed runway from over here. A306 right. The next airplane that should become visible is KLM flight 591 777-300 going to Johannesburg, and in the meantime also have to take into consideration that the SAS that we saw just now is lining up right now. So let's go to that quickly. SAS flight 556 going to Stockholm, already coming this way. It's an A320, 16 years old, first flight November 2007. Now, on the scale of chimney smoke, this is what the wind currently looks like. Still from the northwest, which means that the north-south oriented runways will be used as runway 36 today still, at least for the time being. Our next airplane, ready to go at a moment's notice, is KLM flight 1663, an Embraer 190 that is going to go to Bologna in Italy. Bologna, 10 years old, first flight January 2014. Yillard also in the chat. Monique, goedemorgen. All other viewers who have joined in the meantime, good morning to you too. Welcome to AMS Live. My name is Boy. Sit back and relax. Outbound traffic from Polderbaan, the only runway open for departures at the moment. You can actually see the airplane crab a little bit to stay on the runway heading. That's the first part of all standard instrument departures from this runway, straight ahead until the North Sea Canal and then bank left or right to whatever the destination is. Means that they have to continue on the runway heading, initially climb out, and if you looked, you could see that it was crabbing a little bit with the nose a bit more to the left to compensate for the crosswind. Next is EasyJet flight 27837. It's an A320neo going to Edinburgh. The OELSK, Austrian registered. Alpine on the radio. 4 years old, this one. First flight October 2019. Quite high in the sky already. The next airplane to arrive, KLM flight 591, lining up behind me. Oh, has lined up already. Is that also a heavy coming this way? It sure looks like it. Dreamliner about to land on center. Right, KLM flight 591, 777-300ER, going to Johannesburg, South Africa. 11 years old, first flight June 2012, the PHBVI. Well, our next airplane is already lined up, but has to wait until the wake turbulence of this heavy has dissipated sufficiently. Air France Bombardier C Series 300 A220 going to Paris Charles de Gaulle, Air France flight 1341. The airplane is a year old, first flight March 2023, so last month it turned 1. Sipping a little bit of H2O, lubricate the throat, so that I can keep yapping away. Also coming this way is a Dreamliner from American, going to Philadelphia. Alex is asking, when is the Qatar going to reopen the now closed runway 0624 due to maintenance? It was expected to reopen again on the 25th or the 26th. If things don't get delayed. So that is in 2 weeks or so from now. Yes. Chris the Coot is still doing morning cardio. Yeah. Lead by example. Hey. Don't show us your bum. Only the airplanes are allowed to do butt shots on AMS Live, not the Coots. Hey, oh, that's probably outbound? Huh. Right, up next, American Airlines flight 203 going to Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. 8 years old, first flight September 2015. You can see the flaperons working. Nice to see movement in the control surfaces. Right, well, it's only on that part in that part of the sky that you see more clouds. It is still mostly blue over here. And also an absence of low clouds in the other quadrants. Our friendly neighborhood, the police, is also coming, patrolling and keeping us safe. Got a thumbs up from the police, always nice, knowing that they've got your back. Alvin, cheers for your super chat again. Really unnecessary, but thank you nonetheless. A220 indeed. Well, I like Bombardier C Series maybe a bit better. It is almost too good looking to be a proper Airbus. Arrival on the center runway. departure. Going to JD's hometown of Düsseldorf, KLM flight 1799. 15 years old, first flight November 2008. Hey! Did not ask for that. Right, our next airplane coming this way, going to Stockholm, KLM flight 1219, 737-800, 17 years old. First flight of this airplane was in February 2017. And we have another 737 that is going to CHR, Châteauroux. I think that's a first. I see an airplane take off to that destination. KLM flight 9891? I don't know. 737-700 going to Châteauroux, CHR. 12-year-old airplane, first flight May 2011. Also quickly glancing around me to see if I can spot some contrails, but with the exception of clouds and the occasional airplane taking off from Schiphol, not much else in sight. A couple of cirrus clouds, some friendly lower clouds, a bit more nebulosity looking to the southeast. This is normally the direction where traffic overhead from Munich and Frankfurt are arriving from. Not much to be seen. Is that a little bit of a halo around the sun? On the right, a little bit of a halo. Oh well. Luckily, there's a nice rhythm of traffic going to Polderbaan. Haven't had, and knock on wood, that it's going to stay that way. Haven't had any substantial periods where there was no traffic coming to the Polderbaan. Hey Jinshin, aloha mate, hope all is well. All others who have joined in the meantime, welcome to the show. You're watching AMS Live. Polderbaan departures, runway 36 left today. At the moment the only runway being used for departures, wind blowing from the northwest. Let's see, it's 11:22, in 10 to 15 minutes or so, maybe do an update of the METAR. Wind hasn't subjectively changed that much in speed, pretty constant all morning. And lest I forget, this is the EasyJet A319 to London Stansted, the OELQF, with some nice cloudy backdrop. 15 years old, this one. First flight March 2009. Right. Since we do have a few minutes to spare, might as well do an update of the ticker right now, even though it is almost going to be renewed. We have United going to Chicago, the Dreamliner, flight 908, on the far right, coming this way. Let's do some tail hunting. Air Europa has just gone around the northern threshold of the center runway, so I think we should be able to see it. I think it's probably behind this building right now. This should be approximately where the northern threshold is and the taxiway. So I'm thinking it should be visible. Or has it passed already? Well, no matter. Heavies are on the move to Polderbaan. United flight 908 up first, making its way over to the runway threshold. Gives us a moment to do a refresh of the meter. Now this meter was from 10:25 local time. It is, well, in a few minutes the newest will be released, but already you can see that the wind has changed to west. So if it switches more to southwest, this runway will start getting used for the arrivals, no doubt. Question is, will it happen in the duration of the stream or not? It's exactly this reason why I set up over here, because this is also a good location to be filming arrivals from. So even if they were going to do a runway change, switch it up, reverse the operation versus what it is now, we're still in a good position to film it. But Heavy's Fest is upon us, and we're starting off with this entree. United Airlines flight 908 going to Chicago, sorry. 7879, 4 years old, first flight March 2020. Making its way over to the runway threshold is Air Europa. Going to Madrid, flight 1098 7878 Dreamliner. And another heavy from United is turning and still a bit difficult to see those tails, or has it already passed? I think that, yeah, United flight 21 already a bit further than on flight radar indicated. K4 gave us a wave, patrolling today on this side of the airfield. Right, so more heavies coming up. And Air Europa ready to go. Flight 1098 7878 Dreamliner going to Madrid. 7-year-old airplane, first flight September 2016. It's funny because the wind is blowing from the west, and if you look to the west then you can see blue sky in the distance, and as soon as the air gets over land, cloud formation. You can see as we move the camera more to the east that the cloudiness, at least in the northern half of the country, is increasing. Turn around to the southern half of the country and you see the milkiness still, but not as many low clouds as you can see looking to the northeast. So we're right on the edge of cloud formation. Hopefully it's going to stay north of us. Makes for a nice backdrop and keeps us over here in the sun. Our next airplane to arrive is United Airlines Flight 21 going to Houston, Texas, or Houston 777-200. Followed by a MAX 8 going to Lanzarote, Ace? Lanzarote, indeed. Also coming this way, Class Jet. Going to Belgrade, 737-800, all white. Hey, Singapore A350 on the move. And Delta A330 Neo to Salt Lake City also on the move. The halo around the sun, by the way, nicely visible right now. So, well, on the subject of weather phenomenon, now more visible here, left hand side. Also on the right, question mark? Not so much. Partial halo. United Triple on its way. Soon we should see the MAX 8 turning around the corner. TUI MAX 8 going to Lanzarote. Singapore Airlines A350 to Singapore will be coming this way by the looks of it. Delta A330 to Salt Lake City, A330neo and an A330-300 to JFK also on the move. Delta Airlines Flight 47. Also seeing something that looks like a heavy approaching the center runway. Well, thought it was heavy, or is that the second airplane? Am I looking? Oh no, that's the other runway. This is pitch parallel arrivals. Was looking at an airplane in the distance that is landing on 36 right, and this is an Airbus A330 about to land on center. Looks like Delta. Significant distortion by the heat waves already. Plus also a lot of zoom. This is the top end of optical zoom. Right, let's go back to traffic, taking off from Polderbaan. United Flight 1021 spooling up, going to Houston 777-200 ER. 23 years old, first flight April 2000. Right, TUI Max 8 to Lanzarote, also taking off in a few moments from the threshold of the Polderbaan. And that's the all-white, what was it again? Class jet, going to Belgrade, probably flying for Air Serbia. Somebody pick up Evelyn, she's rolling on the floor laughing. Houston. Not Niesen, but Houston. Daniel has to go. See you on the next one, mate. Enjoy the rest of your Sunday. Be safe. TUI Max 8 going to Lanzarote, the PHTFR, 2 years old. think when it comes to engine noise, I prefer the Airbus A320neos, the A320neo family's engines, more than the Max 8s or the 737 Maxes, more broadly speaking. Now, old school old school 737 coming up next, going to Belgrade, class jet, all white, probably flying for Air Serbia, but I'm not sure about that. This 737-800 is 16 years old, had its first flight in July of the year 2007. Now look at the intricate details on this livery, gorgeous. And I'm not surprised, Wolfgang. Houston also coughing in German. Same in the Netherlands. Only not with a U, but with OE. Alan has to go. Catch you later, mate. Thanks for joining us. Enjoy your Sunday. Wind is picking up. Luckily not so fierce that the crosswind is too severe for airplanes to land or take off from this runway. But it might be worth looking at the METAR that got released 15 or so minutes ago. Last METAR from 10:55 local time, wind blowing from the west and 12 knots. What has the latest METAR said? 12 knots. Okay, back to varying between west and northwest. So otherwise, the METAR says 12 knots wind from 280 degrees. The wind direction is variable between 260 degrees and 320 degrees. Visibility is 10 kilometers or more. Few clouds at 3,400 feet. The air temperature is 12 degrees Celsius. 12 times 2 equals 24, plus 30, 54-ish degrees Fahrenheit. The dew point is around 4 degrees. Big difference means low humidity. Relatively high pressure in hectopascals, 1023. No significant changes in the upcoming hours. Runway use is now, we are standing over here, Polderbaan, only runway for departures. The other two runways, north-south oriented, are being used for arrivals. Let me quickly also paste that METAR into the ticker, and then I think by now the next batch of airplanes should be underway. Heavies expected to take off. Our first airplane to take off and has arrived already on the scene is Singapore Airlines A350-900, one of the prettiest of them all. I know a lot of you guys like this livery and this airplane type, so pretty combination. A350-900 going to Singapore, flight 323. Also coming behind it is the A330neo going to Salt Lake City from Delta. Behind it is a regular A330-300, also from Delta, going to go to New York JFK. Now there's Dreamliner, 6 years old. First flight June 2017. as the sun is temporarily being obscured by a cloud over here. Lining up in the distance is Delta Airlines Flight 57 and A330neo going to Salt Lake City in a few moments. Also a big thank you to Bob for your super sticker. Shiba Dog raises and lowers his index finger to get noticed. Well, you certainly got noticed, Bob. Thank you so much for your super sticker. Very much appreciated. Let's look and listen. Delta Airlines Flight 57. Brand new airplane, this one. Its first flight was in June last year, so 2 more months and it will turn 1. Big picture wise, friendly clouds in the sky, wind blowing from this direction. The North Sea also, as the crow flies, 10 miles or so from over here, that direction, so you can see overseas. No clouds, land inwards, more cloudiness. Looking where the sun is at in the southeast, bit more milky sky. Toyota Land Cruiser from the Kmar also passing us by. That's the military police. And lined up in the distance is Delta Airlines Flight 47, going to go to New York JFK in a moment. Airbus A330, 20 years old. First flight September 2003. Let's look and listen. Wind is making the footage a bit bumpy. I've been filming without image stabilizer thus far. I'm going to enable it. Should mitigate the vibrations a little bit. We're also going to see a Chinese triple in a few moments. There it is already. Chinese triple. Another Delta A330. But first a KLM 737-700. Going to Budapest in a few moments. And meanwhile, the moderators are going crazy. Austrian Wolf just now gifted 5 memberships, and I see that so too did Alvin. That is really above and beyond, guys. Thank you guys so much. 10 new members, courtesy of Alvin and Wolfgang. If you are one of the 10 recipients, don't forget to say thank you or dankeschön. Man, that's above and beyond, guys. You guys are both doing more than enough as it is already as moderators, so really you shouldn't have, but thank you nonetheless. Welcome to the Aurora Sky Lounge, those new members. Be sure to use the custom emojis whenever you want. KLM Flight 1365, 737-700, outbound to Budapest, 13 years old, first flight February 2011. backdrop makes you see how fast these airplanes are moving already. Really lovely to see. It's time to turn back the camera quickly. Heavy fest already beginning. Delta Airlines flight 9921 outbound to Atlanta, Georgia, A330-300. 20 years old. Its first flight was back in 2003 in October. And a Chinese triple in the background up next. Looking forward to that. That might get loud. So too might this. Also, kudos to Delta for no gear retraction issues, no aborted takeoffs today. We've seen that differently in the past. Well, quick look up in the sky. You cannot see any contrails at the moment. Bit unfortunate. Then again, it's also quite busy with outbound traffic to Polderbaan still, so wouldn't have had a lot of time to watch contrails to begin with. Chinese triple time now. China Southern Cargo. 777-300, 777 freighter. Outbound to Shanghai, 8 years old. Hey, Mr. Master in the chat. Morgen Rick. Good morning. Right. Seems I will need to update the ticker again. Parallel departures have once again begun. Also a very big thank you to Ton for your super sticker. A slice of pink birthday cake with purple icing and a candle. It's your birthday, Ton. Congratulations in that case. And thank you so much for your super sticker, mate. Meanwhile, I am updating the ticker in terms of runway usage. Back to parallel departures. En also Janneke, dankjewel. Thank you for your super chat. Dank je voor deze geweldige beelden. Thank you for this awesome footage. You're welcome. Thank you so much, Janneke. Now, no more traffic immediately to Polderbaan right away. I'm sure that's just a matter of time. In the meantime, departures take place from center. This is an A321 from Air France going to Paris Charles de Gaulle. Air France flight 1445. The airplane is 12 years old, first flight October 2011. Turkish A330 to Istanbul, also taking off from center. No, Dreamliner, Turkish Dreamliner, what do you know? Flight 1952, Boeing 787-9 Dreamliner outbound to Istanbul. Brand new airplane, first flight January this year. Look at that, Turkish Dreamliner. Let's see. It's gotten quiet a little bit. No traffic to Polderbaan just yet. There's an Embraer 175 going to Genoa that is now lined up on runway center. And Klemkop, I have no idea what you're talking about, Rick. Question is, once that Embraer 175 rotates, where will it appear? I think, is it on the move? That's the downside with departures at Schiphol Airport. You can get those moments of quiet. Now, let's see. There are a couple of heavies that have been pushed back. Finnair A350, KLM A330. Looks like they will be going to the center runway. KLM flight 1645 now spooling up and making speed on the center runway, going to Genoa. Embraer 175. Just curious where it is. Oh! Easy to miss such a small airplane. just for some reference, if it looked pixelated, that was because it is, or it was. Pretty much maximum zoom. Wind speed on the scale of chimney smoke looks like this right now. And I'm wondering, is it still blowing from the west, or has it turned to maybe a bit more southwest? Let's see. Airplanes are on the move, both to Polderbaan, and there are two on the threshold of the center runway. See that Mr. Biker has also returned in the chat. Good morning, Paul. Good to see you again, mate. Hope all is well. Right, well. It's one of those moments where nothing happens. Let's see. What time was the METAR renewed? A couple of minutes ago. Let's see. Right. Just refresh the METAR. This is what it looks like. Still west, just north of west, the wind. Wind speed has increased to 14 knots now. That's still within the range of crosswind for departure, so I'm not afraid that the runway is going to close because the crosswind component becomes too great. The only thing I was worried about initially was that the wind might switch to southwesterly wind, which would mean that the runways would be used as runways 18 for arrivals. Doesn't seem to be the case. We should still be good for now with respect to departures. Let's see, A300, 600 to Leipzig also on the platform. Now the A350 from Finnair sadly will take off from center. Our next airplane should become visible over there. Embraer 190 going to Oslo. And in the meantime, departures from center, where it is a bit more busy right now. Transavia taking to the sky. Flight 6119 going to Malaga. This airplane is 7 years old. Its first flight was in May of the year 2016. And good morning, Adrian. Good to see ya. Big thank you to whoever gifted him a membership. Well, don't know who that was. Probably one of the moderators, who have gone a little crazy earlier in the stream. Right, looks like another airplane to Istanbul is going to take off from center. Okay, then flight 1959. Right, hey, the A350 is turning around the threshold of the center runway and is coming our way. So the Finnair A350 in a couple of minutes will be taking off from the Polderbaan. That is very good news. The Embraer 190 in the meantime to Oslo, almost on the runway. And there is an Embraer 175 now taking off from center. Well, in that case, let's just stick with this airplane. KLM flight 1201 going to Oslo, Embraer 190, 6 years old, first flight February 2018. And 18 die-cast models in your collection. Is that including or excluding the Hungarian models, Rick? And there is the A350 Finnair coming our way. More outbound traffic to Vienna, having taken off from center. This time KLM, one of the ubiquitous 737-800s. Now, also a United, what is it, Dreamliner to Washington. On the move. This is where we are going to see the Finnair A350 in a moment. Now KLM A330 taking off from center. We will pick it up in a moment as it passes us by in the background. KLM flight 877 going to Mumbai. This A330-300 is 9 years old. First flight was in October 2014. in the collection, the 18 is just KLM. If you motorize them, you can transport many people. Make some money off those models as well. Finnair A350 in the meantime has arrived on this side of the platform area. Windsock over there. Not much gray in the sky. It's also a bit milky, not very blue, not very Viagra-esque, if you will. Well, it's going slow here right now. The fast-paced outbound traffic that we saw in the beginning changed gears down, and that's the downside of departures over here at Schiphol Airport. Sometimes it's back to back, hurry, hurry, hurry. And sometimes it looks like a regional airport just with the occasional big planes. Finnair flight 1302, A350, 900, going to Helsinki. Normally around 2 hours of flight time for this flight. This airplane is 6 years old. Its first flight was in May 2017. Nice. Not too bad. If you're wondering, hey, where did the cloudy backdrop go? It's a bit lower now, more further to the north. We've sent the clouds to Rick Meester. He's always bragging about how much sunshine he has in the north, so we just thought, let's just send it over, get it over with, get it away from here.
Otherwise, sunny Rotterdam.
Indeed, indeed. Now, helicopter Castrol also hovering perfectly still. Once again, Mickey Mouse Air Transportation Company. Looking for mice to transport from A to B. ITA A321neo is lining up on center. Is already going. Going to Rome. Beautiful Azzurro from ITA. This A321neo is brand new and began flying in October 2023. Well, We need to be patient. But there it is, our next airplane. United Airlines Flight 947 arriving from the main platform area, scheduled to go to Washington DC. 7878 Dreamliner, 10 years old, first flight December 2013. What else is coming? Well, a 737 to Dublin. Center gets the A300-600 to Leipzig, which is scheduled to be number 2, I think. The other ITA also taking off in a moment from Center. Center seems to be getting all the fun. Iberia Express in the meantime taking off from Center. Going to Madrid, A320. And after that, the A300-600 from DHL. People feeling low on potassium, don't go away. You'll get your fix in a couple of moments when the banana is coming. Up next on the center runway is DHL A300-600 to Leipzig. Should have a #1 best workplace sticker on it. Not sure if we will be able to see it. I don't see it on the picture of Flight Radar to begin with, so wondering if that is still accurate information. I think it isn't. This shit is bananas, B-A-N-A-N-A-S, or mustard with ketchup. This is the 31-year-old airplane that began flying in January 1993. Chris Coot is amazed, he didn't know that. From the banana and Chris Coot back to the Polderbaan, where, believe it or not, also traffic departs from. This is United Airlines Flight 947. It's a 7878 going to Washington DC. 10 years old, first flight December 2013. See those wings flex up slowly but surely as it picks up speed. Then the stress of rotation induces more flex. Then you get the trademark shape. Yes, nice cloudy backdrop. Also makes for a nice thumbnail. Allora, il prossimo aereo, Ita going to Milan, I think. Still had the DHL label open. Yeah, A320 going to Milan. Il bellissimo aereo. Mi piace molto. Oh, careful. Ready to go in a few moments. KLM flight 1139, 737-800 going to Dublin, Ireland. 23 years old, first flight July 2000. Also again, thank you so much Alvin for your super sticker. Hey Banana. Thanks mate. Cheers. Still a super calm day here. The stream began so promising with back-to-back traffic. Now the only back-to-back that we see is from Chris and Curtis. Hey, and Jeffrey, are you watching? Just got notified by PayPal of a donation by you. Thank you so much, Captain Jeffrey, one of the KLM Embraer captains, who is also regularly watching. And Jendrosek is saying goodbye. Skating back to Haarlem?
Yeah, back home.
Back home, right. Well, say hi to Lorenzo for me.
Yes, he says hello to you and to everyone in the chat.
Oh, cool.
So, congrats for him.
I missed it.
Oh, he asked me to tell.
Well, thank you so much, Lorenzo, if you are watching. Greetings back.
I guess we'll see you next weekend.
If the weather is not too autumn-like, probably. I'm done with standing here with my gloves on. I want to stand here in t-shirt and shorts.
Flip-flops.
Flip-flops, exactly. Well, it's trickling very slowly. Our next airplane to arrive, KLM flight 1305. Going to Gdansk, Embraer 175.
Alright.
6 years old. Hey, see you later, man. Enjoy the rest of your day. Embraer 175 to Gdansk. And Jendrosek on his skateboard. There you go, smooth operator. Well, going like that, he makes it look easy. Also not too fatiguing. He definitely has more skill than I did back in the day. Right, let's see. Are we going to be having this runway configuration until 1 o'clock or something? The A320neo also seems to be active on the platform. Airplane to Dubai 777, that is going to take off from the other runway. Oh, the A350-1000 to Hong Kong also has been pushed back by the looks of it. Really hope center is going to close soon. Next up will be an airplane to London Heathrow, one of the many on a daily basis. BA Flight 431. In the meantime, more activity. Well, no, I was about to say more activity on center, but Triple 7300 to Dubai, Emirates, Flight 146 on the move. Donald and Daisy not in the vicinity. Delta Airlines to New York JFK also on the move. A330neo. That's definitely a candidate for Polderbaan. Delta A330 to Boston. Also definitely a candidate for the Polderbaan. I think that's the Emirates triple in the background that you see taxiing to the center runway. Right, the A350 to Hong Kong, Cathay Pacific, also on the move. Now that too is another candidate for the center runway, but at least some heavies are on the move, that's nice. In the background, a glimpse of a landing airplane that is landing on runway 36 right. That would have been KLM Flight 622 arriving from Atlanta, 777-300 ER. Right, well, BA has entered this part of the runway area. Taxiing to the runway threshold. Let's see. Emirates not yet lining up, so I'm hoping we can see this departure first and then bam, back to EK146. Hey, Steven Seagal. What is up, mate? Steven Seagal back in the house. And coming this way, off to London Heathrow, BA Flight 431, 23 years old, first flight March 2001. Right in the background. No, that's a narrow body preceding the heavy. A line cutter Embraer going to Zagreb, Embraer 190. Emirates flight 146 to Dubai. Looks like it is now turning onto the threshold of center. And the A350-1000 from Cathay also on the taxiway to the threshold of the center runway. Play also on the move, the A320neo, and before it a triplet of airplanes, 2 narrow bodies, Embraers, and 1 A330neo. They are on the move, and also you could see just now how another Embraer was making its way over to this part of the runway area. And there is Emirates flight 146, the 777-300ER outbound to Dubai. Seven years old, first flight June 2016. Looking to follow it immediately from the same runway is going to be Cathay Pacific flight 270, the A350-1000. Right, I'm going to lose the airplane, stop following it. Instead, follow the Cathay Pacific A350-1000 on its way to Hong Kong, flight 270. That is taking off from center. 5-year-old airplane, first flight June 2018. Police helicopter also looking like it's on its way back to the Schiphol Oost area where it is located. Well, in the meantime, More traffic is coming this way, I'm happy to report. Finally, I should say. We are going to see more airplanes pretty soon. To begin with, the pack is being led by a Delta A330neo, which is going to go to New York JFK. Now vanishing behind the fire station is the Embraer 190 from KLM going to Bergen, which might skip the line, come to think of it. Play already in the background. Oh, well, in that case, behind the fire station we didn't see the Embraer 190, and then it was the last bit of the E2 Embraer going to Birmingham. So what's the Embraer 190 going to do? It also seems to be making a left-hand turn, following in the footsteps of the Neo. Here is some spooling up, but is that then the E2 that is going to skip the line? No. You're all going to the runway threshold, and ladies and gentlemen, members, dust off your playtime emoji. In a few moments, you will be able to use it again. Delta to Boston crossing 38C. Hey, interesting. More heavy hitters underway. But first, Delta Airlines Flight 49, outbound New York JFK. Brand new airplane. First flight November last year, so less than a half year old A330neo. Let's look and listen. Slowest retracting gear in the game, A330. But it's retracting, that's something. The airplane is airborne. Nothing rejected. Right, big picture wise, looking to the north, looking to the west. Wind should be coming from this direction more or less. Looking to the east, looking to the south again. Sun relatively high up in the sky over here. Still a bit of milkiness in that part of the sky. Blue with friendly clouds looking to the north, and hardly any clouds looking to the west, where the sea is. Next up, KLM flight 1167, going to Bergen, Embraer 190, 12 years old, first flight January 2012. Our next airplane is going to be an E2 Embraer. Parallel departures still very much in progress. Transavia previous standard livery rental for KLM. KLM flight 1045 going to Birmingham. E2 Embraer. Brand new airplane, less than a year old. First flight was July last year. Now, ladies and gentlemen, members, get out your play emoji. It is that time again. According to flight radar, it's going to NA. Well, I think it is Reykjavik. That we can say with a high degree of certainty. We'll say a big thank you to Vinny for your 5 months of membership. Hey boy, and chat, cheers. Ik neem een borreltje. I will be having a drink. Bottoms up, mate. Thank you for your continued support. Hope you're going to stay a member for many more months to come. But if not as a member, then at least hope you'll be a returning visitor for many more months to come. Nice contrasty blue sky and a striking red play A320neo. Doesn't get much better than that. Or does it? Next up, Delta Airlines flight 243 going to Boston, Massachusetts. Boston. And the A330-300. 18 years old, first flight May 2005. Let's see, there it is. Now immediately behind me on the other side, on the threshold, we have KLM flight 927 ready to go to Edinburgh after the wake turbulence of the A330 has dissipated sufficiently. An E2 Embraer. And there's also a 787-10 Dreamliner to Toronto that is approaching. So let's have a look. Turn back the camera. The sun also no longer as much obscured by the milkiness in the sky that was there until just now. The lights are going on, it's ready to go. shiny airplanes. In the background, KLM Flight 691, which will be going to Toronto, 787-10 Dreamliner, right after this departure. Now, if you've been liking what you've been seeing so far, you haven't already, don't forget to drop a like. It really helps to spread this content to more aviation enthusiasts such as yourselves, who might also be interested in streams like these, but who haven't found the channel yet. Also be sure to subscribe and hit the bell icon if you want to stay informed of upcoming live streams, get notified beforehand. There's another heavy hitter coming this way. Air Canada, maple syrup, filled with buddies, friends and guys who don't know what it all is about. Right. Let's see, Embraer 190 to Stavanger, also approaching behind the Dreamliner from Air Canada. What else is underway? At the moment not much, but there is more coming. Definitely a couple of heavies that are also going to go to the west have been pushed back, so more heavies coming. Looks like things are picking up again. And remarkably still, when looking up, I've been doing that all along, looking around me every now and then, trying to spot contrails. It's one of those days where you don't see them very often. We did see a couple in the beginning of the stream, but every now and then I have been keeping an eye out for them. Doesn't seem to be the right day for spotting contrails today. Air Canada Flight 809 up next to Toronto, 7878. 9 years old, first flight January 2015. Now, the next airplane that is going to take off, lining up behind us on the threshold, KLM Flight 1177, an Embraer 190 that will be going to Stavanger. It's the FEXE, the PHEXE, 8 years old, first flight November 2015. And for those of you curious, where are Donald and Daisy, where are Chris and Curtis? You tell me. Haven't seen Gary in a while, Gary de Grebe. Chris and Curtis were here before. I'm still here. Wind on the scales, chimney smoke, looks like this. Okay, let's flight 1177 to Stavanger. Once the wake turbulence of the Air Canada, I think, have the lights gone on? I think it's coming. After Stavanger, Embraer 190, 8 years old, first flight November 2015. Okay, what's that I'm seeing in the chat? Switcheroo of runway usage. Interesting. Alright, let's see, yeah. Airplanes from center will be taking off. And runway 27 being used for arrivals. They usually do change runway usage around 1 o'clock, so with the wind blowing from the west, I wouldn't be surprised if they did. In fact, I think I see arriving traffic to runway 27 already in the distance. We'll be landing on the McDonald's runway, so to speak. Oh, and the runway will be used for arrivals. Okay, so that means glide slope shots after all. A380, has it landed yet? I haven't checked. I haven't checked inbound traffic yet, but since we are now switching to an inbound configuration, why not also have a look on flight radar, shall we? Have a look what is coming. And let's see, what time is it? It is 1 o'clock, so Emirates A380 is expected around 1:48. That is a bit late. I do also have some other stuff to do in the meantime, so I won't be able to make it too late. Well, maybe a couple more airplanes to land to finish the stream off with. Let's first of all have a look, because the wind was all the time in the western area. I already said it a couple of times before. If it is becoming southwesterly, they are going to switch things up. This runway might start getting used for arrivals, and you now see that the range is also going south of west. So I think that's why, and probably because we started off with more northwesterly wind, so as the day progresses the wind is going anti-clockwise, going more to the south. So I'm thinking, in anticipation of further changes in the wind direction, now this runway change gets put through. Means that I will have to renovate the ticker in its entirety. I am already pasting the ticker into the meter that I just now copied, and let's also have a look at runway usage. This is what it was before, and let's do a refresh. Yeah, that's outdated. So runways 27 and 18C, 18, what's it now? 18 right? Arrivals 18 right, runways 27 and 18 center for departures. Is one at left also being used for departures? Is what I'm wondering. Probably not. This should make for a fully updated ticker again. This is exactly for this reason that I was not going to the beginning of the runway, because I was a bit hesitant about the wind direction. Now, let's see. First arriving airplane is coming, and that is an Embraer 190 that we earlier saw go to Leeds, is now returning from Leeds. German Airways KLM flight 1020, 44 minutes underway. Embraer 190 AR, 15 years old, first flight January 2009. Let's see, I also had this sunshade that I could put over my camera screen. Now, on the XA60, the screen is half an inch bigger, so it doesn't fit as well as on the XA40, but should be in a good position now. Iceland special inbound. What is the estimated time of arrival? Oh wait, it is the one that is turning onto the glide slope already. Icelandair B753, the 100 years independence livery. Very nice. Also a big thank you to Alvin for once again a totally unnecessary super sticker, but very much nonetheless appreciated. Hippo character in tactical gear does tactical flanking maneuver hand gestures. Absolutely. Strategizing on the field, AMS Live at its best. Well, 2 airplane glide slope shot. Did not think we were going to have glide slope shots on today's stream, but there you go. Runway roulette, but we came prepared today, luckily. Tomorrow the Aurora Borealis livery. Well, the weather gods tomorrow are going to bring showers and possibly even thunderstorms, is what I remember from the weather forecast yesterday. So, I think I might not be out here to witness it. I will have another look though, mind you. Just giving a heads up. Autumn is returning to Amsterdam, sadly. First up, this KLM flight 1020 flown by German Airways, arriving from Leeds. Curtains are closed. Hey, that's unwelcoming. Move it just a little bit further. Right, grabbing its way over here is a special livery Icelandair Boeing 757-300 in the 100 years independence livery. 2 hours and 35 minutes underway. 24 years old, first flight February 2000, Icelandair B753. Welcome to Runway Roulette Sunday on AMS Live. If you just joined us, we started out the stream with outbound traffic, and until just now, this is the second airplane now inbound. Runway change got effectuated just now. Runway 27 is also open. Wind is blowing from the west. Initially a bit north of west, now also turning more to the south, hence the runway change. It's not stormy, but it is definitely not wind still. Next up is an E2 Embraer 195, and in the background we have another Embraer 190. The E2 is arriving from Aberdeen and the regular 190 arriving from Glasgow. Both of them are KLM, and an EasyJet A320neo arriving from Palma de Mallorca will be number 3. Now, can we see the number 3 already? Probably not. I think the clouds are in the way. Makes for a nice backdrop, but when it comes to glide slope shots, blue skies are better. There you go, you can't have it all. So this is KLM flight 914 E2 Embraer arriving from Aberdeen. 1-year-old airplane, first flight January 2023. Center now being used for departures, with a TUI Dreamliner by the looks of it in the background. Funny, earlier we saw airplanes land on this runway and now we see them take off. Such is life over here in Amsterdam. Nice cirrus clouds and a few friendly low clouds in the sky over here. Still more blue over here. But then to the north, the backdrop of the glide slope, more clouds. Now let's see, 2 airplanes visible. I believe there was also a third one visible, yeah, at 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock of the number 2. And let's see, our next airplane to arrive is an Embraer 190, arriving from Glasgow, KLM flight 938. PHEZO, 14 years old, first flight March 2010. Somewhere over there, one or more birds are chirping quite happily. Sounds very spring-like. Well, let me tell you, I'm still standing here with my gloves on, keeping my hoodie in my back a bit up so that it keeps the cool wind from blowing too much into my neck. It's actually a nice sunny day, but still chilly. definitely colder air, Arctic air. I believe they said it was directly coming in from Greenland. I'm thinking folks in the UK must also be experiencing the same lower temperatures right now. World of difference with yesterday when it was already warm as I was walking up here. But definitely nice and sunny today, luckily. EasyJet A320neo arriving from Palma de Mallorca. Next up to arrive is a Transavia 737 arriving from Naples, Napoli. And the airplane in the background is an A220-300 Bombardier C series. Air France arriving from Paris. The Transavia is arriving from Naples, Napoli, flight 6412. This 737-800 is 8 years old and had its first flight in February 2016. Tesla Model 3. Is that an MG? No, also a Tesla. Already up next, Air France flight 1640, Bombardier C Series 300, aka A220. Arriving from Paris Charles de Gaulle, average flight time 46 minutes, brand new airplane. First flight of this airplane was in September 2023. Hello, hello, hello. Salut mes amis. Une shot du bot. Shot du bot. Bot shot. See through those see-through engines. Already up next. EasyJet A320 arrival from Milan, and in the background we have an Embraer 175 from KLM, also arrival from Milan. Both from the same airport, MXP, which I believe is Malpensa, but don't pin me down on that. Alright, I'm zooming out on flight radar because it's narrow body after narrow body, and checking if something bigger is coming this way or not, and it doesn't look like it so far. Let's just filter on purely inbound for sake of clarity. It is all narrow bodies that are now coming in. The first heavy looks like the 777 arriving from Rio, still half an hour away. Right. Hey. Yeah, I was saying how it was hard to spot contrails. Something is coming my way en route from Frankfurt or Munich, probably to the United States or so. Hard to make out any details. It is in the wrong part of the sky still and too close to the sun. Another Embraer 175 arriving from Milan as well. I think I'm going to stream for another 15 or so minutes and then wrap it up. It's only narrow body after narrow body, and the A380 still arriving before 2 o'clock. Very likely going to land on runway 27, which is now open, and I think will be open until 2 o'clock or so. Catch a few more airplanes arriving. And then back into the traffic jam surrounding Lisse. This morning on my way over here, signs along the road in the vicinity of Keukenhof were already warning people that haven't bought tickets yet that Keukenhof was already sold out today, so I'm expecting mass crowds in my living area right now. KLM style landing from Transavia, high speed, keep it up, vacate late, soon to the gate. And Norbert, thank you also for joining. I hope you had fun and enjoyed what you saw. See you on the next one, Norbert. Enjoy the rest of your Sunday, mate. Righty. Let's see, our next airplane, I was zoomed out too much, is from Transavia. Transavia flight 6116, arriving from Malaga. The airplane behind it is an Embraer 190 from KLM, arriving from Toulouse. Going from Toulouse to Winnerstown, Amsterdam. Which is based on absolutely nothing. Just thought it sounded nice. Well, more of the same, KLM style landing. Vacating late, keeping up the speed, and rightly so. Still a long way to taxi from over here. Right, little itty bitty Embraer in a seemingly empty sky. They do stand out way better than yesterday against the milky backdrop that we had then. Far easier to recognize the airplanes. The Embraer coming our way is KLM flight 1450, arriving from Toulouse. 14 years old, this one. First flight February 2010. A Transavia 737 arriving from Alicante, should be approaching somewhere in the distance from the left. If the clouds weren't in the way, which I think they are, otherwise we would have seen it by now. We will see it soon enough, no doubt, but are interfering a little, it seems like. Hey! You guys are probably hearing it as well. Chris has come out of hiding. Oh! Grebe-like behavior. Garrett Grebe has been a bad influence on the Coots. They're now mimicking his behavior, diving under as soon as they notice the camera. Already, KLM subsidiary Transavia flight 6144 up next, arriving from Alicante in Spain, 2 hours and 11 minutes on the way. Trying to see if we could spot another airplane behind it, because there should be one. It doesn't seem to be possible. This airplane is 10 years old. Its first flight was in February 2011. A belated butt shot. Now, big picture wise, mostly blue skies, but exactly where the glide slope is, where the airplanes are approaching, clouds in the background. Now, sometimes they are a bit in the way, but not for this airplane. It's a KLM 737-800 arriving from Barcelona. KLM flight 1512, 1 hour 42 minutes underway. The airplane is 23 years old. First flight November 2000. Hey, second airplane visible at 10 o'clock. Ryanair 737-800 arriving from Dublin. Flight 3006. Now, most of you will know by now, they sometimes get loud, so let's hope that that is going to be the case. . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . Right, well, you can see they are wobbling a little bit. Still looks like it is coming directly towards us. Another landing. Now, interestingly, it has been quiet here all the time. Now, it's getting a bit more busy with folks. So, further in the background, well, people are in the way. Also looks like it is very busy on the parking lot of the Polderbaan as well. Right. Ryanair 737, KLM 737, Transavia 737, it's all 737s. As I said, I was going to wrap it up around 1:30, so I think maybe have this be the last airplane. Ryanair flight 3006, hopefully it's going to get loud, finish with a bang. Arriving from Dublin, usually around an hour of flight time, 15 years old. First flight August 2008. That was some reverser action, alright. Right, well, in terms of inbound traffic, it is constant but boring. All 737s. The A380 expected late today, but still in the window where it's probably going to land on runway 27. I'm not going to stick around for that. I have other stuff to do as well, unfortunately. So I am going to wrap it up. Thank you all so much for joining me here. A surprise runway usage change in the end. Hope you guys had as much fun as I had, and if you liked what you saw but you haven't already, don't forget to drop a like. It really helps to spread this content to other aviation enthusiasts as well who might not have heard of the channel. Subscribe and hit the bell icon if you want to stay informed of upcoming live streams. Everybody, thank you so much. Moderators in particular, thank you for once again keeping the chat friendly and accessible, and everybody who donated in whatever shape or form, thank you so much. The super chats, the super stickers, becoming a member, gifted memberships, the merch store purchases, the PayPal donations. Without you guys, this channel is nothing. You guys make the channel. Thank you all so much. Looking forward to seeing you on the next one. Not sure yet when that's going to be, but keep the channel in sight and you will know. See you on the next one. Enjoy the rest of your day. Bye for now.